All right, we had a little mishap here. I'm way out here in New Mexico, and I had my timing all wrong. I had it scheduled for 11:30. I thought it was Eastern, but they scheduled for 11:30 Mountain Time since I'm in the mountains. But we are here. Sorry for the slight delay, man. I have a wonderful, wonderful episode coming up of Principles of Winning. It's going to drop at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Time, 10 o'clock a.m. here where I'm at out in New Mexico, Albuquerque. Hey, having the wonderful opportunity to speak at the Isleta Resort and Casino. But that's not why we're here today. Man, this episode that is dropping in about 30 minutes and about 25 minutes is a special one for me because it's my brother Ralph Wilson. And this guy has meant so much to me in my life, but he's meant so much to a lot of people. And as you know, Principle of Winning is all about, hey, what are the principles, the disciplines that people that have been successful were able to harness and use to create that success? And today, when I play this short clip, and it's only about 18 seconds, but it's so impactful. When he said this, when we were recording the podcast, it just blew me away. And I've been knowing this guy all my life. And to hear him say something like this, I thought was really meaningful and it gives other people, and especially leaders, the insight, I think, to what leadership should be all about. So without any further ado, let's just get into it. And here's the clip that I am referring to right here.
They're saying, hey, you guys gonna miss me when I'm gone. I mean that, but that impact that I'm gonna, try to have on people is gonna be when they write their life story, they can't leave me out. And that's the impact that I want to have on.
I'm gonna play that one more time. It was so quick that he said it, and I had to go back and double back. You'll see that on the full episode, but here it is one more time.
They're saying, hey, you guys gonna miss me when I'm gone. I mean that, but that impact that I'm gonna, try to have on people is gonna be when they write their life story, they can't leave me out. And that's the impact that I want to have on.
I thought when he said that, that was so impactful. And he goes on to tell how he plans on making that impact. But when I heard that, I wrote down 4 things that I really thought was that I could pull out of that 18-second clip right there, which shows real leadership skills. I think these 4 things that I wrote down, if you are a real leader, these are some of the components that you have. And the first one is this: just a human connection. I wrote a profound need to be remembered and valued by others, indicating a universal desire for meaningful relationships. And I'm going to talk a little bit about relationships a little bit later. But as a leader, I think you got to have that desire to have meaningful relationships. Why would someone want to follow you if there's no connection there? And with what Raph said, he's trying his best to make connections, human connections. So that's number 1. And I have 4. Number 2 is this: a selflessness. And here's what I wrote after listening to that clip over and over. He prioritized the impact he has on others over personal gain or recognition, suggesting a higher level of altruism. So his payoff is going to come sometime later. He's not looking for a payoff right now. He may not ever see the payoff. But for him, it's all about, hey, what's the impact can I make on the people that I am leading? So selflessness. Number 1 is a human connection. Number 2 is selflessness. Number 3 is this. And I had to struggle writing this down because I always really believe that leadership is influencing others. And I still believe that is true, but you can go a little bit deeper. I found out after listening to Ralph Wilson, who is the site leader, who was the site leader for DHL, the Baltimore site. I'll tell you why I say it was a little bit later on. But number 3, going after impact and not just influence. So what do I mean by that as a leader? You prioritize making an impact on lives rather than focusing on influencing lives. Okay, I'll unpack that some more. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, I broke down the meaning of impact. And that meaning is to strike against. If you make an impact, take a hammer and you strike against this table that I'm sitting in front of, you strike against it, you make an impact. And what does that do? It leaves a mark. It leaves a mark that it's not going anywhere. It's there. Influencing someone can be temporary, but making an impact on someone is forever. So I had to really sit with myself on that one and say, okay, I always talk about influence, but I think if you want to go that next level into being a leader, you have to focus on how can I make an impact, not just influence. And number 4 is this: understanding relationship dynamics. And here's what I wrote down. I was like, when you aspire to be an integral to others, to their lives, so much that you cannot be omitted, which that's what he said. Hey, they won't be able to leave me out of their stories. There's an implication of a deep level of trust, respect, and mutual understanding. If you're going to make such a big impact on someone or an impact on someone, you really have to have meaningful relationships and understand relationship dynamics. And I believe that trust is the number one thing. Once you can gain someone's trust, now you have the ability to make an impact on them. But going further just than trust is also gaining their respect and having a mutual understanding. So when I think about that 18-second little snippet, that little sound bite that Ralph made, those are the 4 things that I took from it. He, as a leader, he has a want to have human connection. He is selfless. He is focusing on impact over influence. Although he does have influence, you got to have influence, but he's going that extra level of actually making impact. And then understanding relationship dynamics, really focusing on building trust, gaining someone's respect, and having a mutual understanding. And if you want to learn more about Ralph's his principles, his disciplines, and his habits that helped him go, listen, I've been with the guy since he was 6.5, 7 years old, and I've seen a major transformation. He talks about that transformation throughout the podcast, Principles of Winning, the episode that's dropping at 12 o'clock. Went from being on the streets, hustling, but made a change in his life because he wanted to impact his younger brothers in a different way. And that's why he changed his life. And I believe, just had to think about that because I didn't want to lie to you. He was the first example of someone that really showed me work ethic. And I took that example and I used it for myself to help me to get to where I'm at. And let me go back and say why he was the site manager, because after we went live, he actually got promoted to general manager of DHL, the Baltimore site, which is right now, I think, number 2 in the nation, the number 2 site in the nation. He went down to Greenville, South Carolina, and made that site number 1. And then he came up to Baltimore, and that site is number 2. So, hey, if you really want to understand how to build teams and the things that you have to do to build teams as a leader, you want to check out this episode. And again, hey, go and like the stuff. If you do like it, hit the button and say, hey, I like it. Love for you to leave a comment. Go and subscribe to all the channels. Everything is down below, all of the links. And then the last thing is, I want to interview you. What are your principles? What are your habits? What are your disciplines that you've used to upscale your life, to upscale your position. And I want to interview you if you have the questions about, hey, what should I be doing? What habits should I be creating to get to that next level? I want to interview you too. So reach out to me. I'm easy to find. I'm not going to go through everything. We're right here on LinkedIn. I think we're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter/X. So I'm easy to get in contact with. I want to interview you, but hey, in about 15 minutes, we're dropping that episode. Go check it out. It's my brother Ralph Wilson. He is now the general manager of DHL, the site that's in Baltimore. That's number 2, and they will be number 1 soon. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Principles of Winning.